hope we're going to win that case. I think it's one of the most important cases in the history of our country. So much evolves around tariffs as a defensive mechanism for our country. Tariffs have made us rich in terms of national security. They've made us secure. And you know, if you have economic strength, that's also, if you have a lack of economic strength, that's national security also. But we have great national security because of those tariffs. So I think it would be devastating if we lost that ruling.
Okay, that's President Trump today in the Supreme Court case on his tariffs. The president and his team says they need reciprocal tariffs to stop unfair trade deals that hurt America, and plus to get more jobs and to stop the fentanyl crisis, even to stop wars like Russia's war in Ukraine, funded by Russian oil. Let's bring in American Majority CEO Ned Ryun. Ned, what do you think of this case before the Supreme Court? Some of the justices sounded skeptical.
Yes, they did. They sounded a little skeptical of his invoking his emergency powers. But I would say they also kind of weren't dismissive of the argument that the executive has the ability to invoke his Article 2 authority on foreign policy. And I think Trump made a great point that our economic strength is a national security issue as well. I argue our manufacturing base and a lot of things that we do with our economy are truly the arsenal of freedom for the rest of the world. So we're talking about some pretty big issues here. So I hope that SCOTUS understands beyond the emergency economic powers that Trump is invoking. I would argue, Liz, the Trade Act of 1962, specifically Section 232, the Trade Act 1974, Sections 122 and 301, I think give the president the ability to impose tariffs in a variety of circumstances. And it's important that the executive has the ability to negotiate with places like China and the EU, Korea, even Japan, to address the unfair trade imbalances and the tariffs that are being used against us. So I think SCOTUS, if I was a betting man, I think it's going to come with a more nuanced approach. I don't think they're going to completely take away his ability to impose tariffs.
Yeah, and then you just outlined the Plan B, the 1974 Trade Act and that Cold War 1962 Act, that he still has those authorities. You know, Treasury Secretary Bessent says this reminds him of President Trump's first term when people tried to say, oh, the president is allowed to secure the border, but he can't build a wall. He can do a full embargo on a country, a complete ban on trade, but not a smaller tariff.
Yeah, no, I mean, Section 232 of the 1962 Act allows the president to halt imports if he views them as a national security threat. And Section 301 of 1974 allows them to address unfair trade practices and unfair tariffs. So I think they've got a lot of ability. I think SCOTUS is going to look at this, and some people are doom and gloom that somehow it's going to take away his entire ability. I don't think so. Yeah. But I would argue this is an extremely important decision. Okay. This is the whole basis for Trump's economic plan and allows him to really address the imbalances and the unfair trade practices that have been going on for decades and decades and right the playing field.
Thank you so much, Ned Ryun. It's good to see you.